Intelligent Human Voice Podcast Broadcast Network. I'm your host, the PatMan, and we're going to talk about negativity today. Let me let this ride for a minute, and I'll be right back. From the Bay to LA and beyond, this is the Intelligent Human Voice Podcast Broadcast Network. I'm your host, the PatMan. I got a little, not a cold, but a lot of stuff blowing around outside. So got a little sinus congestion. So I wasn't gonna record today. I actually wasn't gonna record, but it's been one of those mornings. I did a little scroll. I do like a 5-minute scroll on Instagram, and then I'll do like a little scroll on Facebook, just, get on, get off, log in, log off. I don't stay logged in to any of those social media sites because it can be very distracting. Yes, very distracting. So today we're going to talk about negativity because, across the board, I'm not feeling it because I block it, but there's a lot of it. And I'm just going to give you some pointers on some things that you may not realize that are influencing negative thoughts in your life. Now, just to give you a little back history on myself, I was angry for a very long time in my life. I'm almost 50 years old, and I carried a lot of anger within me for a very long time. And how did I get over it? How did I get through it? How did I break free from it? I created a smile. I had a smile. I would walk around with a smile and think about the happiest things going on in my life. Thinking about life, period. Thinking about how I wake up in the morning and I can take a deep breath and I look up and the sun is shining. Those are the things that would make me happy enough to just be grateful. And then I would go to work. So it's a trip because, I'm just not a negative person. But if you're around negativity, you can feel it. It's a vibe. It is a thing. And vibe just isn't the word. Vibe is short for vibrations. It's a thing that happens. If people around you are negative, if they're saying things that are negative, if they're just emitting that energy out there, you will absorb it. And I call them energy vampires, because misery loves company. So those vampires are actually out there looking for other people they can host onto. And if you have even an inkling of positive thoughts and vibes and whatnot about you, someone will come along, could be your best pal or just anyone and literally spew something out that is not conducive to your life learning for the day. And they're just looking for a piggyback. And the minute that you agree to whatever the hell they're trying to spew out, that's when you become involved. So I'm gonna read some things. I mean, like I said, I got over it, and how I got over it was through some really deep meditation. There's quite a few techniques you can use. There's just tons of ways that you can study meditations and affirmations on a daily basis. And I'll give you a tip on some of the things I've done to get over it. And also yoga. I constantly talk to a lot of young cats and older cats about yoga. The older cats, unfortunately, they're they're not going to get it. They're too stuck in their ways. They got pot bellies out to, past their, they can't even see the private part. It's crazy. It's actually crazy. Um, but even for those guys, you can start one step at a time, one move at a time. And it's more of a mind conscious, mind, body, spiritual thing. And you don't have to be spiritual. You don't have to be any of that. But just quieting your mind, quieting your body, quieting the senses around you and all that energy, and just finding a quiet space to shut all that nonsense off. It's a switch. So once you get into yoga, if you really want to get into yoga and you're really interested, I'll forward you a PDF that I discovered of a book that came out in 1971. Now, this book came out before I was born, or around the year I was born. So had I known about yoga, then I've been good. But I know about yoga now, so it's good. So let me run through a few notes that I took. Just going through different medical sites on the issues and the toxic implications that can happen when you take on negative emotions. Some research has found that, even a 1 to 5 minute episode is anger. That kind of anger is so stressful that it can make you sick. And if you ever heard someone say, "Oh, you make me sick, you make me sick," yeah, say it and become it. Most of those issues of negativity can impair your immune system, which causes heart attacks and strokes. This is real, people. This is real. Other studies says that anger and hatred can be directed at yourself or other people. However way it goes down, it's like food for your soul. It's not okay. But there are some ways to get around it and over it. A few steps that I'm going to throw out there that, like I said, I was taking notes all weekend. And, this morning I received a text from a young man. I'm not going to throw his name out, but if he's listening to the show, I was really shocked at his response. And I was like, wow, it's interesting. I was just on the subject of negativity, and there it is. This guy responded with, I responded with something positive. He responds with something negative. I'm like, yo, if you believe that, it will happen. If you believe the negativity that someone can block something that you're trying to do, or you could do, if you believe that, it'll happen. It'll come true for you. So I say let it go. And if someone invites you to something that you feel is cool, don't set up any prerequisites about what could and what should and what might. Go, because you don't know. You're creating a paradigm, a universe that doesn't even have to happen, or it doesn't exist. So here's a few tips how to get over negative and anger and hatred and all this stuff, because it is brewing. It is brewing out there, people, and it's not what you think it is. It really isn't what you think it is, because what you think is not. Here's a few things. Acknowledge your anger. Take a deep breath and just step back. Just step back. If someone says something that just doesn't rock with you, just doesn't, roll with you, take a step back, acknowledge it, and then let it go out the other ear. Don't absorb it. Don't take it on. Like I said, it can impair your immune system like that in less than 5 minutes. Realize why you're angry and feeling hateful, sometimes we don't know the root of our problems, and a lot of the issues that we have stems from something that happened in the past. And that's the big problem. The past is just as quick as I'm speaking into this microphone, it has now become the past. Something that happened yesterday is in the past. So think about this. You're getting angry, or you can get angry over something that happened, that it just happened. But if you continue to bring it into the future, into your now, it's holding resonance for making you sick. There it is. Yeah, so step back a moment and just kind of take a look at what you. Here's another thing: what you listen to on the radio. Change the dial. I listen to classical music now when I roll. It helps it helps me think better. It helps more clarity, and it totally blocks anything that's going on around me. Totally blocks it. People are blowing their horns. They're yelling out the window. There's billboards showing signs of murder and death and all this stuff. And you turn on, I think it's KUSC. It's the University Campus radio station, or NPR, and they play classical music. I love to listen to classical music. I now listen to it religiously now. I started doing yoga, and I have some old vinyl, and I'll put it on from time to time, but I'm starting to do it even more because I notice the effects that are helping me to be more productive and more proactive in the things I want to do or get done on a daily basis. So, this is a tip. Someone says, talk to somebody else about what's on your mind. I actually don't recommend this. If the person that you're talking to, has a negative field about them, and this just by talking to that person, it's not going to help. It's going to become a Me Too thing. Yeah, me too. How does two Me Toos help each other? Two people that have an angry vibe about them, can't you end up canceling each other out. So I don't recommend that. I recommend talking to yourself and writing down what's making you angry, better than going to talk to someone else who may be just as full of anger as you are. Start replacing those thoughts with positive thoughts. As quickly as you receive them, get rid of them. Get rid of them with something happy, some memory that happened to you. Don't care how long ago it happened, but think about something that makes you really happy, something joyful in your life, and keep blocking it and practice at it. Practice makes perfect for anything that you want to bring into your life. The purpose of this show is to constantly make aware of the intelligence that we are as human beings on planet Earth. And I've had quite a bit of a ride, of a journey, and part of the show is to share some of that and hope that someone can take from what I've lived through and move forward in their life like I've moved forward in my life. So that's the deal. That's the show. And I hope you got something out of it. I know 15 minutes goes by really fast, really quick, but that's why you can keep listening to different shows and take some in. I'm the PatMan from the Bay to LA. This is the Intelligent Human Voice Podcast Network. And hopefully I'll get rid of this sinus issue soon. All right. Peace and love, baby.